Ye, this is point blank. Coming in hard and off the card. Coming with the flow straight from the barrio. And coming with the heat from the damn street. We coming with the facts, the crack backs, the boom bip to the line ass lips. This is PBNN Point Black National News. The late and the great edition. And the ghetto edition as well. Because this is what we must do. In all ways, when we look at many situations as we see today. So this is PBNN Point Black National News, the late and the great edition and the ghetto edition as well. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have time, to really play around. Many people's lives are being lost across the planet Earth due to the affiliation of these demons in our government and in many places across the planet, such as we see in the Gaza Strip, and such as we see with the Hamas and the occupying people who's occupying and, you know what I'm saying, invaded, you know what I'm saying, and pushing their will on the people in the region. This is where we get, in many ways, the same ideology that we see have been going on across the planet for many, many years. So this is not a situation that just took place the other day, as we know, because we keep hearing 75 years, and that, but which we know is longer than that, in many ways. So when we look at the situation in itself, we see that. We see that. But what the problem is here is there was a mention by a reporter who mentioned, I think he's an Israeli, he was a teacher and so on and so on, and he was jailed for giving his opinion or fighting to help to balance what I would call the situation on all sides. You know what I'm saying? And he was criminalized and charged with treason because he spoke this way. You know, thank goodness his children is proud of him and what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, he's not all alone, because the same way that he feels is the same way hundreds of us feel. Because we cannot accept Israel to use the scriptural Bible or to use any biblical psychological mind frame game that they want to play by creating a scriptural Bible that has pedophilia, faggotry, sex trafficking, and rape, and all types of other things involved in the book that they have. Also, putting in the book that they are the chosen people of the so-called fake God that you have put into place in the minds of the people through force, violence, killing and murder, and enslavement and assimilation, to believe that you are the chosen people and no one else is but you. So you have the right to go into Africa. Now the question is, you're not African, nor you might have in Arabic or so forth descent based on y'all all being the same phenotype. And how we know that is by your hair. But at the same time, we cannot allow you to use that and go into Africa, choose a strategic spot, you know what I'm saying, using the Ottoman Turks and many other white groups who are the same phenotype as you, to bring down this merciless persecution upon African people and the Gazan people as well. Because you feel that your three Bibles, Quran, the Holy Bible, and the Torah, and all these different Bibles that the Pope reads, you know what I'm saying, is a validation to give you the right to do these things. Even sanctioning slavery on their own people and other races of people who share the same phenotype as them, and enslaved them and were the first to even be transported to America as a white race. You know what I'm saying? Which we know lands a lot with the Irish and many others. You know what I'm saying? But they were doing that in Europe to their own people for many, 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 many years. Then they come to the United States and you formulate this scriptural book to give you the right to go into Africa, invade an area, in a strategic area such as we see going on in Sudan and Ethiopia as well, and force your way in there and then start the carnage. If you see the carnage that has went on this planet going back millions of, well, not millions, but many, many years, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the Caucasians and many other groups, you would not believe the carnage that they have caused on the human race, wasting away people's lives, such as what we see even with the pandemic. Every year they choose to do this garbage to people. Even AIDS. AIDS was another depopulation trick. You know what I'm saying? And there is no way you're going to tell me not. Because when you look at the scientific facts, based on AIDS, what's the explanation and where did it come from? But it's sexually transmitted, isn't it so? So what caused that to be has to have come from them, not the Africans and not other races of people. A lot of this was caused by a certain group and a certain bunch of them that wants to control population. You see? In their mind, they rule. Now, when we look at the Israel-Gaza situation, we even hearing talks of Israel or certain people saying that they're doing work to try to make the Palestinians and the Israel so-called invading, occupying force in Africa to come together because to get the Israelis to see the Gazan people as human. Who gave them the right to go into Africa at all and see anybody any fucking way? This is something they've been doing a long time. Nobody have to, who gave you the right to choose what is human and what is not? You are fucking and ignorant and garbage. You trash. That's like me going into Europe with an occupying force, take over Europe and beat down on the Europeans. Because in my mind and my people's mind, I have taught them to see you as less human than we are. What kind of fuckery is that? This alone is treason to the human race. This alone is treason. Same as Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci, the killing weasel. They have committed treason against the United States and against the people of the fucking world. And you must still being ignorant and not doing anything about it. Same as what we see going on in Africa with the occupational, criminally Israel group. You do not belong there. You do not belong, Arab boy, in Ethiopia. You do not belong in Africa. And you are a guest in the house of creation. You dumb motherfucker. You are not presenting an image of any superiority or any kind of superiority complex in itself. So where's you getting off with this matter of choosing to say who is human and who is not? And then got the nerve to back that up with a military might. Funded by who? The United States government. And the people of America, the United States, sit here year in and year out, knowing the crimes of humanity all across the planet in many countries. And you in many countries are speaking to as well. And you are not standing up to the fact of putting forward the effort to shut this shit down. And these elected officials that you elected into office. You must now come to an understanding that this is wrong. No one should have the right to dehumanize anyone. Because the ones that are trying to call a dehumanization on others are the ones who is dehumanized in the first place. Because if we was to go into many of your genetic makeup or background, you could not explain none of it. Especially when the question is asked, how did you get that in you, but it's not in me? Now, you could sit there with your DNA garbage all day, but it's clear to see. We don't need no laboratory to see that. But you have used laboratories and every means of destruction, garbage, and biological attack on human beings all across the global spectrum, the global planet itself, and have not stand up for the reality of life in itself. Because how we know that things that are going on still continue to go. Look at Sudan. Look at Sudan. Look at the Gaza Strip. Look at Ethiopia. Look at Germany, what they did to Germany that was orchestrated by the United States again to me. And many forces of the deep state were involved in this oligarch bullshit that they do. And then have the nerve to sit up there in my face as a black man and tell me that this is right. I don't think so. And I'm not ignorant. I'm not ignorant by a long shot. Many people are. This is why they use cameras, which cameras are good security, but they use those. You know, they police the world as we see and try to make it out to be something that is or is not true in their mind to the people that should be a balance more though than a rule. Same as we see with the pandemic and what took place. How the fuck is that not wrong?